Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing our last of our Best of Beauty 2020, and in today's video we are going to be talking lips and eyes. I was so excited to do this video because eyeshadow is probably my all-time favorite category from the makeup categories, and so I am going to zoom through lips as fast as I can and then hit on some eyeshadows. So first up for lips, we have the Milk Makeup Kush Lip Balms. I have here the one in Plush Berry, which is kind of a mauve-y shade. This is a color that I have on my lips right now. This is just such a beautiful wash of color for a balm. It definitely comes out really nicely. I also have a reddish shade, and then I gave my husband the green one. These are magnetic closures. So this is just a balm. I found this later into the year. I bought the 3-pack when it was on sale at Sephora, and I just fell in love with them, and I use it so often that I had to include it in this video. So next we'll stay in kind of the gloss, balmy kind of category. I know this has been in everyone's favorites, but this is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. I have mine, or this specific one, in the shade Stone. I definitely do feel like these are a dupe for the Fenty, as do most people. So doe foot applicator. There's a swatch of Stone. Now I will say that these are about the size. So they're a typical size for an average lip gloss, but the Fenty glosses have always been larger. Okay, so I found a mini of the Fenty gloss because, like I mentioned, I was just going to share with you. Her minis are 0.1 ounces, and so are the Maybelline glosses. And so again, while these may be half the price, they're also half the amount of product because her minis are half the amount. I'll swatch Fenty Glow next to it, just so you can see the formulation is definitely similar on the lips. So Fenty is a favorite ongoing. I have several minis, but the Maybelline one was a favorite for this year. Okay, last in the gloss category, and this is the gloss that was later to the game. I want to say I picked up my first one sometime in November. I want to say it was around Black Friday. These are the Pat McGrath lip glosses, and I liked them so much that I went from having none to having 4. So the first one that I picked up was this one in the shade Flush Fantasy, so just a really pretty nude color. I did haul this on my channel. I'm not going to swatch all of them, you guys, but I'll swatch one. This is just such a unique formulation. It's so beautiful and luxe. Now, I would not pay full price for these. So these are $28, I believe, but I got them on sale for $12 a piece during her Black Friday kind of deals, which I want to say she still has going on. So check out her website. But the other shades I have are Aliangelic, so this is just a really pretty one as well, kind of a clear. My 2 newest ones are Bronze Temptation, so you can see kind of just a bronzy tone, and Aphrodisiac. So beautiful, beautiful lip glosses. Absolutely love these. Okay, for lipstick, I have another drugstore favorite, and I actually don't have any in this video of kind of high-end lipsticks, but my favorite lipsticks of 2020 definitely had to be these Wet n Wild formulations that they came out with. So they are very reminiscent of the Pat McGrath packaging, but they are just really beautiful. So the black ones are the matte versions, and the white ones are kind of a gloss version. I brought a couple out just of my favorites so you can see. So in the matte version, my favorite is Bare It All, which is the shade right here, really beautiful. So there's Bare It All. These wear so beautifully. They do not make your lips look dry at all. I just love these. I will say what I don't like about them, kind of a fault, is they don't go down any further than this. And so you have to be really conscientious when putting on and taking off the cap. But other than that, they are beautiful. So the 2 in the gloss formula, which is probably my favorite if I had to pick just one, but I pulled out Close Off and Mad for Mauve. These are my 2 top in this line. So here's Mad for Mauve. And you guys, it's funny because as I'm looking at these swatches, They're all just so nude and boring. So that's Mad for Mauve and just really glossy. I wonder if the camera will pick up just kind of how glossy that is. And then this is probably my most worn of all of them, Close Off. This is just a nude color. You can see it's definitely lower than the other ones. This one is just gorgeous with any look. Like I can wear purple eyeshadow and this looks good. I can wear blue eyeshadow, this looks good. Green, doesn't matter. This is gonna make it look better. What I like to do with this one as well is if I'm wearing something else that's maybe a little dark, or maybe I just wanna freshen it up, or a matte that just looks too matte, I just kind of toss this on and it just really looks beautiful. So love these. I have just a few more that are behind me, but these are gorgeous. I would recommend picking them up and trying a shade that you might find interesting. Okay, you guys, that is all for the lip category. So now we are going to jump right into the eye category. So the first thing up in eyes is this Smashbox 24-hour photo finish eyeshadow primer. I started having creasing earlier this year on my eyelids, and so I decided to look into a primer that was suited for oilier lids, which has never been a problem for me. But this one was highly recommended on a few different websites and blogs that I looked at, and it has just worked wonders for me. I don't deal with creasing anymore, and so this was a win for this year. Next up is my favorite mascara of all time, and it still is. It is the Superhero It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. Now, I pull this mascara out when I need a mascara that is going to make my eyelashes look beautiful and fluffy and long and build on itself. I will always have at least one or two backups minimum in my collection. Now, I may not always have one open, but if I need to look good and I want my eyeshadow or my mascara to look good, I will open one of these and pull it out. Now, I will say you don't get a long shelf life with these because they do start getting dry and goopy, probably about 2-month mark. So I use this every single day after I open it to really get the best bang for my buck. But I love this. I took pictures for work the other day, and that is when I opened this, and I remembered why I love it. And so I typically will go through 1 or 2 of these a year at least, because I do try other things, but still my favorite. Eyeliner. So this year, my favorite eyeliner of 2020 is the Hank & Henry Slick With It eyeliner pen. This is a felt, or actually a brush tip pen. This is in Blickety Black. Just give you a quick swatchy swatch. This is just, I got this in a BoxyCharm. I loved it so much that I ended up doing a BoxyCharm buy, sell, and trade group, and I picked up a few more of these. I want to say this is my 3rd one in the year 2020. It is the only eyeliner I have used. Absolutely love it. I'm not wearing it today. I ended up using eyeshadow on my lash line, but highly recommend. And when I go through the rest of the ones that I have, I will absolutely repurchase this. Okay. 2 really quick things for brows that I have used to death this year. This is the Smashbox Brow Tech in Taupe and Soft Brown. I want to say this is a deluxe size sample that I got years ago, but I stumbled on it this year. And so it has 2 powder shades and a wax, and you can see how much of those powders I have used, and that is using this almost every single day religiously for the year 2020, and some of the year 2019. I did use it a little bit then, but this is just, it's perfect for me. I use the darker shade at the back of my brows. I use the lighter shade in the front. I use a micro brow pencil first, and then do this. I don't really use the wax, so that's just kind of meh, but great product. And again, I want to say this was a deluxe sample, and it is going strong. Next up for brows, I do have a brow gel kind of gel product. This is the e.l.f. Brow Wow. I have mine currently in the shade Brunette. The only thing I will say with these is I have not found my perfect shade yet. So I feel like they either run too dark or they run too light or they're too red. But nonetheless, it's still a beautiful kind of thing. So really, I just run this through my brows. I love how thin it is. It cost $4. my brow routine is a little extra. I do a pencil, a powder, and then kind of the gel on top. And so this is just kind of the one that I've been going to. I have used, I want to say this is my third or fourth one for the year. Okay, now to get into some of the fun stuff. So now we're getting into eyeshadows. So the first eyeshadow I want to share is the only cream shadow product and kind of the only single product that I have. This is my Charlotte Tilbury in Eyes to Mesmerize Marie Antoinette. These have recently been renamed, and I want to say this one is called Oyster Pearl. I did not get this until this year. You can see how much of this I have used. This is just a beautiful one and done shadow. Oh, it's gorgeous, you guys. I love using this, especially on weekends when I want to look put together, but I don't want to do any of the work. I just pat it into my eye, rub it up into the crease, maybe, and I mean, usually doesn't happen. I might take a blending brush to blend it out, but most of the time I blend it out with my finger. It's gorgeous, you guys. I absolutely want to get more of these. These are pricey as all kinds of, fill in the bad word, but they're gorgeous. So love this. Okay, now for eyeshadow. My first favorite, and I'm not going in any order, but my first favorite of the year were the e.l.f. Bite Size Eyeshadow Quads. I mentioned these briefly before, but this is probably my all-time favorite, and this is in the shade Rosewater. These are just absolutely beautiful. They cost $4. The pigment is great. The wear time is great. Like, I don't have a single negative thing to say about these products. That black is really, really black. I will say in my mint video, there was one of these quads that I did not like. They added kind of a glittery shade that just didn't have a lot of pigment, but this one specifically and the other ones that came out before that mint collection, gorgeous. Okay, my next favorite is partly because it's cute, but also because of the quality. This is my Star Wars ColourPop Mandalorian The Child palette. This is a beautiful green palette. I also love Baby Yoda, so I mean, but this is gorgeous. So I absolutely love like Sipping Soup and Little Frog. Just look at those greens. This is probably my favorite green palette that has come out to date. And I just love it. It's beautiful. And if you have brown eyes, green eyeshadows will do wonders to make your eyes pop. So I would highly recommend green. I love this palette. And again, you guys, it's just, he's cute. Okay, next up, I'm going to finish with another, or kind of wrap up the ColourPop palettes that I have and then move on to a few others. But I also wanted to throw in the At Forest site. This was a Raw Beauty and Christy collab, Raw Beauty Christy collab, and it is just gorgeous. This is 100% a late runner to the game, but I fell in love with these shades. And again, the fiddlehead. Look at that green and look at this kind of like duochrome. You can tell the colors that I like. Let me swatch one of the other ones. I just really love kind of the fall vibe that you get with these. They are just absolutely beautiful. So let me give you a little bit of a swatch. ColourPop shadows, you guys, are just, they are coming through to play this year. They are gorgeous. So even though this is a late runner, I think I got it in December, I had to throw it in because I have probably used this at least 10 or 15 times, which says a lot considering how large my collection is. Okay, I have 3 more palettes and then we are done. I really had to pare this down or I would have been talking for forever. So my next favorite palette is the Sigma Untamed palette. Now this is just a really unique color story. This is everything I wanted the Urban Decay Subculture palette to be. Now I didn't have the same issues I feel like everyone else had. I was still able to make the shadows work. I still have it in my collection because I loved the color story. But I did get issues with them kind of muddying together, the colors muddying together on my eyes, and that does not happen with these. And so these are just absolutely gorgeous. And I know you're gonna say, look at those greens. I know, I hear you. But I actually really love like the purples in here as well. Of course, the greens. I'm gonna do Envy. But look at those purple and greens, you guys. Like those are my jam kind of colors. Look how beautiful. So Sigma recently came out with these kind of larger palettes, and I think that they are hitting them out of the ballpark. I also have the Enchanted palette and think that that is a beautiful palette, but for 2020 favorites, I definitely fell in love with the Untamed palette from Sigma. Okay, something I didn't quite expect to see in my 2020 favorites, but somehow snuck in there when I was really thinking about kind of what I use the most and what I was really like drawn to this year. One of the palettes that I couldn't help but put in this video is the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice palette. This is the Too Faced release for this holiday season, and it is just, I don't know what it is about this one. I have several of the other ones, but this color story just really talked to me. I used this color, which is Pumpkin Spice, a lot this year. It is just really beautiful. And this color a la mode, which is kind of that, like, to quote Jaclyn Hill, like a baby poop kind of color. They are just, oh my goodness, these are such pretty shadows. And oh, look, it matches my shirt. Absolutely love this year. I have always liked these kind of tin palettes from Too Faced, but of all of the pumpkin ones and gingerbread ones, I would have to say that this is probably my favorite of all of them. Okay, and for the grand finale, I saved this one for the end because it is without a doubt my all-time favorite of 2020 in the eyeshadow category, and it is the Natasha Denona Glam palette. When she came out with the Cool Tone palette, you guys, I was so excited because it's gorgeous. So I know a lot of what I showed you was kind of warmer tones, but I adore cool tone shadows. I think they look great on my skin complexion, which I know sounds weird to say, but I know that they just really function well. But I love that she added kind of like these silver and taupes, but then you also have some that have kind of a warmer tone to them, and they're just gorgeous. So you do have mattes and you have shimmers. Now, some people complained because the titles of these are like blend and smoke and center lid, and people didn't like that. For me, I thought it was helpful for people who just maybe are newer to makeup. I could see why she would go that route. But they're just so pretty. So there's the three from that palette. Again, I'm not swatching everything for you guys, but so anyway, those were all of my lip and eye favorites for the year 2020. Please let me know down below what were some of your favorites. I would love to hear from you guys and see what you guys were enjoying for this year. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below to be part of the Cam fam, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!